No matter where we are in the world and no matter what is going on around us in the world, we are still called to be disciples and we're still called to make disciples. On this video, we want to talk about establishing foundations as a part of a discipleship journey and talk about some ideas and some ways that we can continue to establish foundations in the midst of the coronavirus crisis and while we do social distancing and how we can move some of that online.
Hello, every nation. This is Joey Bonifacio in my house, in my apartment in Singapore. And I've been asked to share about Establish. And since we are about 7 weeks into the coronavirus, we've been doing a lot of online meetings. And the primary things we're doing are just 4 things. Establish people in prayer. Prayer is allowing them to leave the physical limitations of their lives, tapping into the spiritual, limitless possibilities with God. And praying through them, with them online, and encouraging them to pray as families. Number 2 is to meditate on the word day and night. Whatever situation they're facing, whatever crisis point, whatever bad news, stop that. Bible says, whatsoever is true, whatsoever is noble, whatsoever is praiseworthy, whatsoever is excellent, you know that verse, focus on those and meditate on the word day and night. Number 3 is to proclaim the gospel. Never, ever stop. And that includes proclaiming the gospel to yourself, receiving communion over meals that you're sharing together as a family. And thirdly, proclaim it to neighbors and friends as best as you can. Do the good things that God has called you to do. And finally, we establish them not just in prayer, in meditating, proclaiming the gospel, and in fellowship, whether that's at home, whether that's online, whatever means that you're doing, do that, because you can now, when you grow out of this virus situation, you will now have a new way of being established in those 4 essentials of our faith. God bless you guys. We're praying for you, hoping and that this is going to be over quickly and we can go back to normal.
Hello, Every Nation family. Greetings from Nashville, Tennessee. A unique times we are living in. But despite the storm that we are facing, we are given a unique opportunity to establish biblical foundation on our people. Something that we need to take into account is that when we establish biblical foundations, we are not just teaching them something so that they will know in their minds. People do not learn just with their heads. They learn with their whole beings. They learn with their souls. They learn with their heart. And as you establish biblical foundations in a time of crisis, in a time when they are going to be applying everything that they learn, those will be lessons. Those will be foundations that will stay with them for the long run. They will remember that Jesus is Lord because their whole hearts, their whole being is involved as you establish biblical foundations. You know that each one of us face challenges on the how to do it. Here at La Casa, we are doing it using the different means that are available. We are a bilingual church, so we do our main services in 2 languages, but we do our discipleship in 1 language. People attend the language that they speak mainly. So we are recording videos in English and in Spanish of the Purple Book. So here, my Libro Morado and Purple Book. They are about 20 minutes video, and we ask our people to watch those lessons, to fill in their Purple Book, and then we gather for our discipleship meetings through Zoom or Google Meets. And then we go answer the questions that they may have and pray for one another. We are taking advantage of the opportunity. I ask you to do the same. Is establish biblical foundations, because what you teach your people now will stay with them for the long run. May God bless us and help us to establish the foundations and the people that God has given us.
Here at Lake Mary Church, we talk about doing life together, that we are one spiritual family that constantly doing life together. So when a family get together, how they do life together, they check on one another, they pray for one another, they're always meeting each other's needs, and they have fun together. So that's exactly the direction we went with in this crisis. So while we have all our 65 years and older, all the elderly communities around us that cannot leave their homes. We decided to do a community visit, and I am the chaplain for Lake Mary Police Department, so I got a police car to drive around the community and actually knock on doors and check on our elderly and pray with them, ask them if they need anything. We had groceries for them, so if they need anything, we could meet their needs. Some of them were opening up the doors, and when they see me as their pastor, they're actually crying in tears because they have not seen somebody in so many days and they're feeling lonely. We're also doing something very unique. There's an app for a scavenger hunt. And so we're doing a family scavenger hunt. We're telling families that on a Friday they could compete and using that app to do the scavenger hunt and post pictures. So while we're distancing far from one another, and maybe we don't see each other physically, we're seeing each other in a lot of activities. We're also using Zoom platform, which is a video platform, to do live groups. So all our live groups are meeting on Zooms, and some of our groups are actually meeting dailies. And more than ever, so many people now actually logging on Zoom and becoming part of our live groups. Some of them have not been part of live groups for so many years. They're finding this to be an incredible opportunity for them to connect with the spiritual family. This is an incredible opportunity for us as a church to be church more than ever before. And now we have an opportunity to be the spiritual family that God meant us to be for one another. There is incredible opportunity for us to engage, and it's an incredible opportunity to establish biblical foundation in action.